Okay. You don't have to sit in the back rows, though. Okay. Thank you, everyone. So, I'm Sue Oliver from the Energy Healing Centre, and I'm really, really excited today to present Spinal Flow to you because I have been working in the healing space, focusing on emotional healing for the last 20 years, actually. And for me, I am an expert at helping people release emotional issues, and I can do that quickly and easily. But with Spinal Flow, what I'm now able to do just as easily is help people who are having chemical or physical issues in their body to shift it. So I'm going to go through and explain to you how Spinal Flow works and why I'm so excited about using it. So your body has the ability to heal itself, but needs to have energy flowing freely up and down the spine. If you don't have energy flowing freely up and down your spine, you're going to be experiencing symptoms, all different symptoms. So spinal flow gateways are basically about the fact that we have a brain and we have the nervous system which goes all the way down to the tip of our tailbone, the coccyx. And in the spinal flow, we have the spine split up into these areas. So we have awaken, which is basically our connection to all that is. We have pause, which is where the energy is moving up into your brain. So if you don't have a full energy supply going up into your brain, you're going to have issues happening in your body. We have the pause section, which I just mentioned, and then we have the passion. What do you think the passion gateway is about? Harry was mentioning earlier the lady who has no voice. The passion gateway is about your ability to speak up, your ability to connect with your heart, your passion. How many people do you know that have spent their entire life never connecting to who they are and what their passion is? It's because there's a block between their heart and their passion gateway. Then from there we have the centre gateway. The centre gateway is all to do with your thoracic spine, but it's also to do with your heart. So your heart is where your sense of self-love, being able to give and receive love happens. And in a minute I'm going to show you some pictures of people's posture, which shows us when the centre gateway has been affected. Then we have the power gateway. The power gateway is your sense of personal power. So in a man, if one of you was standing here with a big curve in your spine, guess what that would be telling me? That you are not in your power. A man in a woman's posture is quite different. A woman is supposed to have curves in her lumbar spine. A man in his power has way less curve. He's much straighter in the lumbar spine. But if you look around and you start noticing people's posture, you can tell a lot by looking at what's happening in a person's body. Because your spine is holding your whole body's memory of everything that's ever happened to it. So down here in the foundation, this area is your foundation, your sense of safety and security in the world. We have a lot of issues related to the foundation, and then we have the base. The base is the coccyx area. So who's ever seen a dog with its tail between its legs? Right. When you have a coccyx area base problem, your tail is between your legs, and you can never be in your power when you are in that state. You are in fight or flight from some sort of trauma that you've experienced, and it could go way back to your birth. Okay? Okay, so what causes the changes in our posture and the flow of energy up and down the nervous system? So we have changes in our posture depending on what's happened to us and how our body is coding it. So we have 3 stressors. Physical stress, so that's when perhaps you've had an accident, perhaps you've had whiplash, perhaps you've had birth trauma. They're physical stresses, right? Next one is a chemical stress. What do you think chemical stress comes from?
Food, pesticides.
Food, pesticides. Things we ingest, but there's one even bigger than all of those. It's the way we think. So our thoughts create our chemistry. Have you ever noticed when you get fearful, suddenly your body feels so different? It's ready for fight or flight. That was your thought creating your chemistry. So if you're a person who's sitting in negative thoughts all day long, guess what you're doing to your body? Filling it full of shit, actually, and causing it to feel way worse than it needs to. That's a chemical stress, and that's so fascinating because when I'm touching a person's body, I can feel that. It feels really awful. It feels spongy in their spine because it's sitting there. Then emotional stress, what's an example of an emotional stress? Pardon? Depression, yeah.
Will make us sleep, you know?
Well, it can be if it's stressing you out, yeah. But emotional stress can just be feeling like you're being attacked, feeling like you're being bullied, feeling like something's wrong with your relationships. We're all about relationships and how we relate to one another. So emotional stress comes from feeling all those emotions. I see clients who don't speak their truth. So what do you think happens to their emotions? They don't magically go anywhere. They clog their body full of all that emotional stuff, and it affects their body. So the awakened gateway, common symptoms. So remember, this is actually the brain part of you. Common symptoms of something being amiss in the awakened gateway is feeling spacey, dizzy, having memory problems, or brain fog. So you'll have had that in the past for yourself, or you'll know people that just don't seem to be able to feel like. I see clients who come in and it's like they're not grounded. That's an issue with the awakened gateway. Then we have the pause gateway. So that's actually coming in here at C1. Common symptoms are headaches, low energy, earaches. People with chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, they'll be having a block in their pause gateway. Earaches, eyes, tinnitus, tiredness, fatigue, anxiety comes from the pause gateway being blocked. So it's really interesting when you get the energy flowing through these centres that these symptoms are addressed. Next one is the passion gateway. Remember, that's the throat through here. So common symptoms of the passion gateway being blocked is having something wrong with the glands, thyroid issues, feeling sluggish, insomnia, nervousness, stiff neck. They're all symptoms of something going on here. And the interesting thing is, with the passion gateway being blocked, so is the power gateway. Power gateway and passion gateway go together. So one or the other is blocked. Then the centre gateway. Now have a look at what's going on with this man's back.
He's got a lot of problems, this guy.
Well, see how his back is curved? That's scoliosis. When someone is hiding something in their heart that's been very traumatic from a child, they develop scoliosis. They're bending around their heart is trying to protect itself. That's what's actually happening from an energetic perspective. Here, this lady, she's also protecting herself, but have you seen people walking along like that? They're protecting their heart. And by unblocking this area, you allow them to open up again. And so the symptoms for this is difficult to breathe, rib pain, high or low blood pressure, chest pain, asthma, coughs, allergies and heartburn. And I actually know with this one, allergies, I never had hay fever till I came to Canberra. I didn't want to come to Canberra. I didn't want to leave my family. And I was looking at that yesterday thinking, I was so upset to leave my mum especially. It took ages for me to get rid of hay fever because that's where I was stuck. So next one, power gateway. Now remember, power gateway is through here. It's your sense of personal power. If you don't feel powerful in yourself as a man, you're going to have much more of a curve than you would if you're a man who's in his power. So problems here, back pain, disc problems. So all those people that are saying they've got a herniated disc and all of that, power gateway problem. Bloating, constipation, irritable bowel, gluten intolerance, ulcers, reflux. These people are trying to hold themselves together. So what they have is a lot of tension in the muscles here because their body is trying so hard to keep them together because they don't feel like they're together at all. They can't relax, right? So the foundation gateway, if you look at this man, see how his butt is high? When I test, I can tell who's got a problem with their foundation gateway. There's a quick test where if, who do I think, mate? Prab, come and have a look out here. Come here and I'll show you all a quick test which tells me, we'll just turn you this way. I'm just going to put my hands here. Prab, just bend over and touch your toes. Go. Okay, stop. Now, you can lift up. Can you see the difference in my hands? He's got a block right here. That's a quick test to show me that his foundation has got a block in it. Also, you hear about people with one leg shorter than the other. It's not really one leg shorter than the other. The problem is either they've got a block in the foundation or they've got a block up in the paws. And by doing a head test, a head turn or lifting the legs, you can tell exactly where it's coming from and help the body to clear it. Okay, so common symptoms for the foundation gateway, and Andrew, you have this, one shoulder higher than the other, is back pain and stiffness, groin pain, can have sciatica, irregular periods, sexual problems, bladder infections, and reproductive issues. So for women who miscarry a lot, the issue is down here. Their nerves are not actually going to where they're supposed to be in their reproductive organs. And the base gateway. Now remember the dog. This is what's happening here. She's got her coccyx pulled in under, so she's not in her power. Look at him. Does he look like he's in his power? Not at all, because he's also got the same thing happening. And so base gateway common symptoms are people who've had depression their whole lives. Their base gateway is blocked. Chronic depression, migraines, people who have those shocking migraines, most likely there's been a trauma that's actually blocked up their base gateway. Night terrors, they're in fight or flight and they're unable to relax. Even my daughter has this. I've been working with her. Who's ever heard of Raynaud's disease? Right. Well, I'm working with my daughter at the moment to take Raynaud's disease out of her body because basically it's a circulation issue. And I've been working with her, and now I know this is where her issue has come from. And what we're needing to do is allow the body to flow again. So what I want you to understand is those gateways, they are basically all the different areas of the spine. And what I'm doing when I'm working with someone, if I give you an example, I have a friend who's, she's got such chronic back pain that it was recommended that she have a back operation. But she's not going to because most back operations don't work anyway. So I've said to her, right, Marg, I'm so tired of seeing you in this chronic pain all the time. you need to come and see me, and this is a birthday present for you because, you know, money's an issue. And I have worked on her 3 times in the last 2 weeks. She's gone from looking like she was about to just fall over with pain. You know when you're looking at someone and you can see the pain in their face, it's so bad, and barely able to move, not even able to bend over, nothing. To now her neck's moving easily. I was working on her yesterday, I could see the flow coming all the way up to her middle of her heart. And just by working on the spine, I can now feel that her thoracic spine has let go. So that means the issues around her heart that she's been guarding and protecting have let go. And all that energy is now flowing. So the pain that she's been experiencing has to go away, because the nerves of the spine are what causes that blocks in those. And when you work with the spine and you release all the tension through there, then everything has to work better. So it's incredibly exciting, and I had an email from a client the other day who came last Thursday, and I didn't even know that she had excruciating back pain and for years hadn't been able to clean the bathroom. She never told me that. Her husband always did that. And she said, "Sue, I just want you to know that the searing back pain I've had down my back, which has stopped me from cleaning the bathroom for years, has totally gone after one session of doing this work with her." So I've switched from working fully emotionally to now working emotionally with the spine, because I get it all intuitively when I'm working. I know where to go, I've got all that behind me, and now I'm getting the spine to flow, so it's really exciting. So this statement, your thoughts create chemicals that flow through your body. Monitor your thoughts so that your body can be relaxed and in an expanded state. Are you above the line or below the line? Now, I made these stickers at the beginning of the year, and I'm going to give you all one of these, because this is for you to put somewhere that you notice, because it says, are you above the line or below the line? Because only you can monitor what's going on inside of your head. And you have to be your own best cheerleader, because when you're cheering yourself on, you're creating a happy space for your body. But when you're telling yourself what an idiot you are or whatever, that creates some pretty destructive chemicals in your body as well. And also, one of the meditations I posted in my Facebook group this week was about watching what you speak. Because when you speak to someone, and I was given the example of when I was teaching, I had a little kid come to school, he's only 5, and he just stormed in and he wasn't working and his writing was horrible, and I got down to his eye level and I said, "What's wrong?" And he said, "My mum said I was stupid this morning." She pretty much has fucked him up for his whole life by saying that. And I'm an advocate for the kids, and I kept that bit of work, and I said to her at the teacher interview, "This was on the day that you told your child that he was stupid, because just so you know, this is the effect," because I was upset for him having to deal with that. So it's about understanding, what are you saying to other people? Because your words have such a huge impact on others. Because we are 70 to 80% water, and water is our emotional body. So you hit someone with something horrible, then they're going to carry that, and you're responsible for that. So you really have to be careful about what you are saying. And if you're going to say something to uplift rather than put someone down if they're in your team, and remember how you speak to yourself. So that's what these are for. So that's it. Any questions?
Sue, thanks for your presentation, it's great. I don't know about the rest of the guys here, but I was starting to feel the spine, which is
Yeah.
And then he said, Andrew, your left shoulder. I went, oh,
Yeah.
I started moving around. So we all squirmed.
Right. Well, what you're going to do is start to look at people's posture and think, because I can tell looking at people where they've got issues. Like if someone's doing this, then their heart's hurting. They're protecting themselves. But the beautiful thing is, like when I'm working with someone, I can feel that lifting underneath my hands. Or if I'm taken to a part of their back, which is usually down here, I can see when the fear is stuck in there, and that can be from birth, it can be a traumatic experience. And just by getting them to focus on that point and breathe out the fear that's been stuck there, then all of a sudden that part of the body can breathe again, and you can see the movement of breath going up the body, which then makes the whole body work much, much better. And so people are going from having migraines to not having migraines. I had the most huge lady come the other day and I thought, oh wow, you've got some issues going on. And I always message people the next day to say, how are you? And she was a person who had so much abuse as a child, has trouble making friends because she's been so protective of her heart. And I just checked in to say, how are you? And she said, I feel so great. And that's the story of all my clients, because I empower them to find them. So, yeah. So basically when a client comes along, I do an assessment of their posture to find out where are the blocks. Then the body also shows me when they're lying on their tummy whether there's a block up here or a block here, and your leg length shows that. And I palpate to see, is it chemical, is it emotional? Because emotional is hard, chemical is soft and spongy, so you know it's quite different feeling. And the spine has layers of emotion, so as we release something, then something else will pop up and it will feel different again. So, yeah.
What got you into working on the back?
Well, that's the funny thing, because I've been working, like I've trained in so many things and I let the body dictate what it wants. That's my traditional way of working. I work with the consciousness of the body. But about 3 weeks ago, a friend said to me, Sue, I'm about to do this course. And I'm like, oh my God, it's like time stood still. And I told Andrew, didn't I? It's like I've had the key in the door, but now it's like it's... So there is absolutely no one I can't work with. And now I feel like I have the language for all of you men who wouldn't necessarily tune into heart-centered emotional stuff, but you get physical stuff, which is the majority of the population. And so now it's a language that everyone can understand, and I'm really happy about that because I'm incredibly good at what I do. So I want more people to come to me and to know that. So
you had a pivoting moment.
Totally. And for me, that's how it always is. So one of the things that when you're really in the flow of yourself, then you have whispers, and I did a meditation about that this morning and posted it in my group actually. The whispers are your inner self telling you what action you should take. So for instance, last week I started to get whispers about, because I run retreats in Bali and I take people to Nepal and stuff, I haven't been able to do any of that. And I started to get a whisper about actually running a retreat for women, and I thought, okay, and then last week that was confirmed in something I was doing, and so I spoke a meditation and posted about listening to those whispers, because we get them all the time, like, go and do this, and it's whether you're tuning in and listening to what your inner voice is saying or you're ignoring that as to how much you're in the flow of what's actually going on in your life, because the more you do that, the more you flow. So now I'm running a retreat in Mollymook in March next year, and I will be I'm keeping it small to 6 people because that's what I like, and it'll be be full by the end of the week, so I have no doubt about that. But that's just following my flow. And so when you're in the flow, you are listening to the whispers. You are following the guidance of your inner self, because it doesn't come from anyone else. It's all within you. And that's what I'm doing when I'm working with clients, is my intuition is telling me where to go, what to say all the time. Yeah.
It's time.
It's time.
Right, thank you so much.
Time.